So here is one that I was very excited to get. I am a fan of 70s martial arts movies, 70s Hong Kong movies, Golden Harvest movies, weird oddball career that one-time Bond actor George Lazenby from On Her Majesty's Secret Service had after he threw the whole Bond franchise away. And here comes from Eureka Entertainment, A Queen's Ransom from 1976. Not what I thought I was going to get, but I was very excited to get this. The packaging is great. I'll show you that when I'm done yapping. You can see it on the screen. And it was this missing link. It's got the cast. First of all, directed by Shan-Hsi Ting, with Jimmy Wang Yu, who was huge, or Wang Yu, who was known there, Angela Mao, George Lazenby, Sammo Hung, Bolo Yeung, and Queen Elizabeth II is actually in this movie. Not that she ever knew she would wind up in this movie. This is like Jack Klugman in Challenge of the Tiger. Just sort of like, we sent a camera crew to a place this person was going to be, and then we put that footage in our movie. So basically the story here is a group of bad guys led by IRA. I'm not spelling out that his name is Ira, and it's not about some kind of financial thing. It's the Irish Republican Army. IRA agent or soldier or whatever, George Lazenby, dubbed in, not by George Lazenby, in the English dub, with a terrible bad Irish accent by one of the guys who is just the standard Hong Kong English language villain dubbers. So it's weird to see Lazenby and have it not be his voice, have it be a voice you do kind of recognize, and have it be a bad Irish accent. Lazenby has this group he's brought together to ostensibly assassinate the Queen. So this movie goes back and forth with Lazenby and his group, which includes Bolo Yeung and Jimmy Wang Yu. Lazenby and his group with the accidental discovery of this plot by a prostitute or a bar girl or something. She brings that to the authorities. So it's the cops and her, a small group of people who are trying to thwart this plot. So it's one of those, it's like Black Sunday, not the Bava film, but the Frankenheimer or 2 Minute Warning. Those movies in the 70s where it's the authorities racing against the clock to discover what the plot is from the bad guys who are going to do this heinous thing and how to stop them, who they are, what they want to do, and how to stop them. And the bad guys going about their plot not knowing somebody is on their trail. So this movie is one of those. It's not a martial arts movie. It's not even really an action movie. It's a lot of talking, which is really atypical when you see this cast and you see Golden Harvest and you're thinking, oh man, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be Jimmy Wang Yu fighting Angela Mao, and Angela Mao fighting somebody else, and Sammo Hung fighting Bolo Yeung. And no, it's not. There are fights in it. There are little tete-a-tetes. Not always executed that interestingly, unfortunately. There's a brief scene with Angela Mao fighting somebody somewhere, and it's like, oh cool, it's Angela Mao, and she's dressed like in contemporary clothes and all this, and it's neat. The end, I'm not going to give anything away. I'm telling you about as much of the plot as I'm going to tell you, but toward the end, there is a fight between Angela Mao and George Lazenby, and that's kind of worth the price of admission. That to me was the highlight of the film, because it's just like, oh, it's Angela Mao just beating up James Bond, and James Bond just slugging Angela Mao like she's not a lady. Angela Mao's amazing. She's cool. She's still around. She's not making movies. She's running a really good restaurant in Queens. And Lazenby's not really making movies anymore. So to see these people, if not in their prime, close to it, together on screen is an interesting meeting of the two worlds. Film is presented, Eureka always does an amazing job with these. So let me break it down on what you get. You get the Hong Kong theatrical version, which is 97 minutes. You get the original Mandarin mono on that, the English dub mono, which is how I listen to it. The audio commentary by Frank Zheng and Michael Worth. Frank Zheng is on most martial arts releases now. Luminary in the world of Hong Kong cinema scholarship, and Michael Worth is similar. Martial artist, film director. He made a movie called Appleseed that I'll always bring up because it's really good. If you like Rance Howard and you like road movies, it's really good. And they're both together are co-producers of the recent Enter the Clones of Bruce documentary about the Bruceploitation genre in the 70s. Really good. These guys really know their stuff. They really care. They've got some humor, but they've got a lot of cool inside information about the people involved. Michael Worth had apparently trained George Lazenby to get sort of back up to shape and in the saddle, so to speak, before he was going to do a movie involving martial arts many years ago. So they both know of which they speak. So a really solid commentary there. Then you have the export version of the film, which is 92 minutes. So it's 5 minutes shorter than the original Hong Kong version. Tightens it up a little because, my God, there's a lot of talking in this film. It's just really a lot of plotting, Plottind, but it also is Plotting, which is also Plodding. And then you get an English dub mono on that because the export version was the one that was made to send out to like England, Canada, America. That has its own audio commentary by Mike Leader and Arnie Venema, who do a lot of commentaries, and they're fun and funny, and they'll tell a lot of inside dish, and they'll not necessarily make fun of the film, but they'll have fun with it while still knowing what they're talking about and respecting the overall endeavor. It was, as I mentioned, a Golden Harvest movie. It looks amazing. The transfer on this looks so good. And it's, again, these movies never looked this good. Maybe in the theater they did, but anything after that they never did. So it's this Eureka version is a beautiful sight to behold. There is one extra on this, other than the ones I've already talked about, called Furious George, Training with Michael Worth. That's 16 minutes, and that's just Michael Worth talking about his experience in detail working with George Lazenby and what Lazenby told him about this movie and the other movies he made in Hong Kong and what his experiences were like and what his process was. That's really interesting and cool. And to talk about how they trained and what styles they worked on and all that. And then you have the original trailer after that. So the packaging is gorgeous. Eureka knows what they're doing. So you've got a nice new, is that in focus? Is that in focus? There we are, sure. You've got a nice new slipcase with nice new art, front and back. The slipcase, what does it do, gang? Slipcase slips to reveal the same art, and you flip it over, you open it up, you get some art on the disc, you take the disc out carefully, you get a nice little booklet, and you get a reversible cover with the original Hong Kong art. The booklet has all kinds of stills and lobby cards and writing on the film and stills taken from the new transfer of the film. It's a really nice package. So I didn't think the movie was very good. I say all that to say this. I didn't think the movie was that great. It was pretty boring for the most part. But it does have some cool action. It does look great. It was the last film that George Lazenby made in Hong Kong. So if you're a Bond fan, it's this weird little odd side nugget of his history. And it does have Jimmy Wang Yu and Angela Mao in it, looking good and kicking ass. So available on Blu-ray from Eureka Entertainment. 1976's A Queen's Ransom, co-starring Queen Elizabeth II, unbeknownst to her.